Hey guys, Shankar here with video number 2. Before I kick off, I really want to say a massive thanks for all the love and support. It definitely means a lot and it will help me shape these nerves that I have. But I'm going to kick into it. How to stand out. So guys, as you can imagine, with COVID-19 lingering about, it's forced that many people onto the market and now looking for a new role. So you're in competition with other people. How are you going to stand out? So guys, here are 3 tips to help you stand out. So let's change some lives. Tip number 1, your CV. Now guys, your CV is one of the most important assets to you. Think of it this way. This is your foot in the door. This is essentially your money maker. And this is what's going to separate you from the next person. So what we want to try and do is understand how to structure your CV. So giving you some context around this. Imagine you walk into a cluttered room. There's clothes everywhere. There's, the bed's not made and what have you. You're just like, oh, I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm going to move on to something that's a little bit more cleaner. And the same thing goes with your CV. If your CV is unstructured, there's bits of information everywhere, there's different fonts and what have you, that is not going to be visually appealing for a recruiter or a hiring manager. So you want to think, well, what's going to be visually appealing and just display the information that is necessary for them to understand who you are. So I'm going to give you the elements in terms of what to pop into your CV and how to structure it. So let's start off with the basics. Your name at the top, your contact details, a little blurb, 4 sentences that encapsulates a little bit about you, what you've been doing and where you're looking to go. Underneath that will be around your education, and underneath that will be your certs. So that could be, your Prince 2 or you're an ISO certified lead. So that's that part. So then underneath that, we want to start with our most relevant job. So you'd start off with the company that you worked for, your job title, the month and year that you started, and the month and year that you ended. So underneath all that is where you would put your responsibilities and roles. And then also underneath that is achievements. Now you're probably wondering, well, what do you mean by achievements? So for example, if you were a project manager and you worked on Workday, you'd want to pop in, say that you helped implement Workday for 2,000 users, or you were a graduate, you started off as a grad and then you were promoted twice during your tenure. So let's make sure that we have the most recent role at the start and then working our way down, alrighty? So that's how you structure your CV. But if you are struggling at all, feel free to drop me a note underneath or just add me and I'll do what I can to try and help you out. Now, tip number 2. Now this is probably more of a, the secret sauce or just a sort of insider tip. So when do you best apply for a role? So before I kick into all that, what you want to know is, or what you want to try and understand is, there's 2 types of recruitment. There is agency recruitment and then there's internal recruitment. So agency recruitment is a standalone organization that helps provide services to organizations with their recruitment requirements. Whereas an internal recruitment is where that internal recruiter works for that organization and helps facilitate the recruitment process purely for that organization. So when an agency recruiter puts a job on the job boards, what I would be doing is definitely trying to apply as soon as possible, especially if you are hitting all the right boxes or you're ticking all the right boxes. So for example, like for like industry, you've got the right sort of technical skill sets. I would be applying for that straight away, because as you can imagine, that recruiter and agency is definitely trying to fill that role ASAP. So that is going to put you in good stead to try and, when you apply for that role, they are definitely going to give you that call. Now, in terms of internal recruitment, the way that it works is these guys are working on quite a number of large roles, or the volume of roles that they are working on is huge. So they may not get to you ASAP. So how it sort of works is when you apply for a role, it's almost like a stacking order. So the first one that applies goes at the bottom, and then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. So when we come in the next morning, you will see that a email is sent through to notify who's been applying for the roles. So whoever's who's applied last, we are top of the inbox. So that's just a keynote for you guys. Now, tip number 3. Building relationships. Now guys, I reckon this is essential. when I say building relationships, you want to try and build a relationship with a recruiter. Why not have a recruiter in your back pocket that is essentially representing you? They understand what you've been doing, what industries that you've worked at, what industries where you want to go. So when you can try and build those relationships with recruiters, it's definitely going to help you because you're at the forefront of their mind when they are speaking to their clients. So guys, pick up the phone, call a recruiter. Now, not all agencies will allow you to speak to a recruiter, but there are some out there that will definitely allow you. So I'll just be telling them, hey, look, this is the industry that I specialize in. Is there a recruiter that I can speak to discuss my profile? So guys, these are my 3 tips. If there are any things that you want me to discuss further, please leave some comments below. Please give me a like so we can get this message out and let's try and change some lives. Thank you guys. Ta.